Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life. Welcome back to another fun episode of Next to Madison. I'm your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's episode, I am sitting down with producer and creator Lauren Livingston, who is here to talk about her In Living Color 2.0 revival and all her advice and gifts and things that she's learned along the way. She basically is giving us a crash course in how to get the heck out of your own way. She is confident. She is not afraid to hear the word no. She understands how to listen to what her gifts are from God and what her purpose is, and to follow that, and is giving some great advice for you to do the same. So if there's something you've been sitting on, if there's a question, if you're questioning, like, is God, what are my gifts? Can I hear God? Whatever it is, can I hear the universe if that's for you? She literally is just an inspiring thing. It's going to make you want to take the risks, take the chances, because life is so short. And just remember, and she says it in the interview, and it was so great, but it's always no if you don't ask. So just ask. I need to be amazed at what can happen. But we'll be right back with this amazing interview after this brief break. Hi, it's your host, Madison Malloy. For those of you who don't know, I've written and created a powerful collection of books to help you build confidence, shift your mindset, and attract the life you truly want. From Time to Lighten the F Up, to Affirm and Flourish, Color Your Way to Abundance, and more. These aren't just books, they're tools for transformation. Grab a copy now on Amazon or at madisonmalloy.com. Now back to the show. All right, welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. Today, as I mentioned in my intro, I've got the amazing producer and creator, Lauren Livingston, in studio. She's virtual because she's in Mexico, but it doesn't mean she still ain't next to Madison. So, Lauren, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great. I'm hot. How are you?
Oh gosh, I'm down south, and it's hotter than what do they call it? Hotter than Hades?
Hotter than Hades. I might use that. Hotter than
Yeah, it's
Hades.
like,
It's
oh
hot.
my gosh. Yeah, it's
It's
like,
for sure hot.
yeah, it's like getting used to the humidity and all that stuff.
Yes.
But anyway, so you and I connected through a friend, and you are onto some amazing stuff. You're living out the life in LA. You've got these creative juices flowing. You've got all these great shows
Yeah.
coming up. So, I know as a creator myself, like, we talk about what we can release, certain stuff we can't. So I just want you to talk about, like, just you, like, your backstory of kind of how you got into this, because ladies and gentlemen, this is a woman that is creating shows that are going to be household names. She is
Oh,
an
thank
amazing
you.
human, which is why she's on this show, and she's inspiring, and she's somebody, you really are somebody that just is a reminder to not give up on your dreams and to truly believe in yourself. So give us a little bit of your backstory before we go into kind of what you can release on what you're working on for Hollywood today.
Okay. Well, first of all, Madison, thank you for that intro. I just appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Of
Thank you so much.
course.
Madison's amazing, guys. Like y'all should just
Oh,
take a time
thank
out and
you.
just like really just listen to some of the stuff that she says, because she truly is, she encourages. Where it's a lot of haters around, Madison is like the opposite of that and everything that she is.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
Backstory. So I'm originally from Washington, D.C. And I've kind of bopped around. Madison said she was about to bop around New York for a few. I've bopped around myself for a while. My mom passed away when I was 14, so I had to move from Washington, D.C. to Delaware. Then from Delaware, I was in Philly, from Philly, New York. This is like very long story short. From Philly, New York, and then New York to LA. It really was like nowhere left to go. I had just become like a very big fish in a small pond when it came to Delaware, when it came to Philly. And it just kept getting bigger. Like they're like, oh, well, you have to conquer your hometown first. And then once you do that, move bigger, move better. So, did that in Delaware. And it was like, then you got to go to Philly, big fish in small pond in Philly. And it was like, well, you got to go to New York. But
Yeah.
once I hit Broadway, it was like, there's nowhere left to go unless you feel in your heart that you kind of want to do like the either the Law and Order thing, which is incredible. I love that show, or the Broadway thing. You kind of got to push.
Yeah.
to LA, especially if you have I want to say a future in creating. Nowadays you can kind of do it anywhere, but not really. Like let's just be
Yeah.
real. Like LA, Atlanta, even Atlanta is to me is still like kind of second to LA as far as it being the hub of all things made when it comes to production, whether it be lots, whatever. It's just we're here. We're here.
So were you on Broadway? Like, did you
I
like
was, I
you
was.
were so you were a
Yep,
performer
I
on
was.
Broadway?
I was. I performed at 54 Below. Apparently, everybody who's ever made it, that's anybody, once did 54 Below. I did 54 Below. I was off Broadway for a while. I did Don't Bother Me Because I Can't Cope. I did Mother Emanuel. I
Wow.
did Make Them Hear You. I really like worked that Broadway circuit. It was great. It was a blessing. And then from there, I did Tap NYC. They're like an amazing company. Shout out to Bobby Holder. Anybody that's looking for management representation, agent, definitely Google Tap NYC, do your due diligence, go through the process. They will help you find representation. Because in New York, you can't solicit. In
Yeah.
LA, you can kind of send your package, you know what I'm saying, to like a dozen agencies, and prayerfully somebody will hit you back, email you back. Saying, well, we'd love to, have a general with you, which is just like a general meeting to see where you are. Not in New York. It's actually kind of discouraging, if you will, because it's just like, well, how am I supposed to climb if I can't, get representation to get me in auditions and this, that, and the third. So Tap NYC, I did that program, and they help artists, actors, singers, performers. They help them find agents. I had 6 offers by the time I was finished with that program. I had 6 offers from different agencies and management companies. So kudos to them, cheers to them. I did that, and with less than a year, I was in LA. Less than a year, it was like, you know, my management was just like, um, there's an agency in LA, and they want you. And I was like, okay, cool. And like that's pretty much what happened. I'm not still with that agency, but it at least it gave me the push, the nudge that I needed.
Okay.
Um, so yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then so we're not acting as much anymore, but now we're on the creative side. So go into kind of where that took you.
I'm still acting. It's just, how do I put this? I love being behind the camera as much as I love being in front.
Yeah.
I'm literally so I'm still acting. I still get booked on gigs all the time. I just, somebody at Olive Garden just saw me like last week and was like, I feel like I've seen you on TV before. Were you in that movie with, Yvonne Orgy? I was like, yeah, I was. And they're like, oh my God. So, it's just, I'm a storyteller at heart. I'm a creative at heart. That's what I found out about myself. And back in the day, I thought that,
Yeah.
my writing gift was just music. Turns out it's not just music. Um, and that's pretty much how it started. I did my first TV show in 2020. Um, before the pandemic hit, but like right before the pandemic. And then from there, now I'm like 7 shows and a feature in deep.
Yeah.
And yeah, it turns out I have a knack for it. Turns out I have a knack for storytelling, getting an idea out, making sure we have everything that we need, whether it be the pilot, whether it be the episode, whether it be the treatment, whether it be, the pitch deck, whether just whatever, whether it be finding funding. Just turns out I really have a gift for executive producing as well as creating as well as writing. And then, some of my stuff I'm in it, some of it I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I said, I found that I'm just as happy being behind as I am in front. So it really is just, it's like whatever the story needs. If I see a role that is just like I could actually play that and I would be great at it, I'm in it. If not,
Yeah.
sometimes I have execs like, you're not going to be in this. I'm like, no, not this one. No, 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 no. Let's cast somebody else. Like, I'm not going to be in this one. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Well, no, that and that's good. I think it's important to know where your value is. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Sometimes
ma'am.
it's in front of the
Mhm.
camera and sometimes it's behind the camera. So you're now
Yeah.
working on like creative projects because you've seen things in
Yeah.
the industry and how the industry has evolved. And you're
Mhm.
like, let's dive into this. Certain things need to come back, certain things need to be brought back to light. So can you talk about the project that you were telling me about? Because it's so exciting.
Oh yeah, and in Living Color. Shout out to Keenan Ivory Wayans, Damon Wayans, the whole Wayans family. Shout out to them. Um, we grew up on like the 80s and 90s. We grew up on sitcoms, right? Like we
Yep.
grew up on um, the Cosby Show, A Different World, In Living Color, Full House, Family Matters, like all of that. Um, and I had this idea maybe like 3 years ago. I had this idea like, why don't they? And of course, you never know the ins and outs of why a show shuts down. I mean, you can do some research and find out, but you really won't know unless you can, kind of pull from the legends that began the show. But I said, why don't they reach back for like the next round of superstars? Like, why don't we do In Living Color 2.0? You know what I mean? Where it's not a reboot. Like, you don't want to recreate, what they did, but just continue what they did. Like, hey, what does this look like now? Where's the next round of superstars now? Where's the next round of
Yeah.
pop stars? J Lo, Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, Damon. Like, it's just the list goes on, and they're all major. Like, none of these people I'm naming ended up being like small potatoes. Like,
Yeah,
everybody
I
ended up
know.
being like a major star to date. So my idea was like, why don't we reach back for the next round? Like, why does it have to stop? I love comedy. I think that, what doesn't kill you not just makes you stronger, but can also make you laugh. So I'm always like, you got to laugh to keep them crying. So a lot of my even like my drama or like my action stuff, it's like rooted in comedy. Like, we gonna find a way to laugh our way through this, bro. Like, that's just that's just how I feel. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, that was kind of my twist. And I got with my producing partner, Maya Cryer. I said it to her. um I said, what we should do, is, do like a Living Color, like a 2.0, like the next round. And by that following morning, Maya had emailed me a rough draft of a deck for a
Oh
Living
my
Color
gosh, I
2.0.
love that.
And she pretty much was putting her foot down, like, you're not doing this without me. And the rough draft, I gotta say, was like phenomenal. Like, if you need 100% for a deck to be ready to go, ready to pitch to networks, ready to pitch to streaming platforms, Aya's rough draft was like 90%.
Yeah.
Like, excuse the noise in the background. I'm at this big resort, whatever, and they're doing construction. Whatever. I'm so sorry about that. But
Hey,
yeah, so
we
that's pretty
roll.
much
We got important
we
information. We
roll
roll no matter what.
exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much how that happened. And we got some funding, got the sketches together, figured out what that would look like to just what if we did like an episode? What does an episode look like? So 4 sketches, decided we weren't gonna overlook the Fly Girls because look at who was like a Fly Girl, J Lo. And
Yeah.
they never even blinked twice at her during that show. And come to find out, she was J Lo. So I really put myself out there and tried to find like a superstar dancer. So we were lucky enough to get like the amazing Aaliyah Janelle. She has like 2 million followers on Instagram, and she toured with Beyonce. She has her own studio. Like, she works with everybody, like all the greats, like Lorianne Gibson, Fatima. Like, everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. She's a true go-getter. Begged her to do it. I didn't have to beg her that hard. She's really open. And once she kind of got on set and saw, this was like a big deal, and she kind of was like, "What is this?" She's like, "I feel like this is like a big deal." And I just like laughed. She's even agreed to come on and produce like the dancing segment of it to just blow that up, because dance, like the world of dance, is so much bigger today than it was
Yeah.
back then. Her and her husband Tally, it just became like bigger than life. It just became bigger than life. Kept it a secret, sworn everyone to secrecy, because we didn't want anybody finding out about this before it's time. We didn't want anybody telling us no. I didn't want anybody telling me no. I don't want anybody telling me you can't do that. You can't do
Yes.
that. You can't do that without the weigh-ins. It's like I could do whatever I want to do. I could do
Yeah.
whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? And the weigh-ins can talk to me later because that, ultimately that's what I prefer. Let me do this. And if they want to talk to me, let's talk because I'm asking them, can I stand on the shoulders of giants? You know what I mean? They are giants to me. They've always been giants. They're amazing. Everything they're
Yeah.
doing today, everything
So
they did yesterday, they're amazing. So yeah,
so you're able to
exactly.
bring back like a reboot of a show without the original creators on it?
Um, Depending on their paperwork. Like now, without getting into too much detail, depending on their paperwork. Now, if they own the IP, if they own the rights to it or whatever, you can throw something out there. Doesn't mean that they'll say yes to picking it up and moving forward with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now, if they don't own the IP, if they don't own the rights, if nobody owns it, which is very rare, it's very rare that people don't own. But if they don't, then you can go and try to seek counsel and try to see how you can get said rights and try to see how you can do certain things. So for me, it was all about I really want to do this. I don't know how to get to them. I'm not about to play this politics game as to how to get to them. I'm brilliant. Nobody can tell me that I'm not. And
Yeah.
they're brilliant. So I'm gonna put this out there and prayerfully it'll reach them, it'll find them. And not only once it reaches them and finds them, if they like the idea and they want to work with me, they can call me. If they don't, cool. I'm gonna push forward though,
I
because
love
in my
that.
opinion, a sketch comedy show is needed right now. Something
Yeah.
other than SNL. Not that there's anything wrong with SNL, but it doesn't have to just be SNL. I used to love Keenan and Kel, and all of those
Yeah.
things. Yeah, it's nothing out like it right now. So we're winning. But I just felt like it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. So that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did.
I do love that though. It is, and then what are you working on like other creative things as well too? Like it's always kind of coming to
Oh,
you.
always, always, always. Like I said, I have about seven projects right now and they're
Yeah.
all actively being pitched. Like even that even that sitcom I told you I wrote back in like 2020, like right as the pandemic hit, that's even being pitched because
I
what
love
happens is
that.
it's like a Pandora's box. Like everybody saw me doing Living Color 2.0 and you know what I mean? Not
Exactly. One thing happens and then everyone's like, what else you
exactly.
got? And it's
And
always
what
good
else
to
you
be
have exactly?
prepared, especially in
Always,
this
always,
business. Yeah. And I love
always.
the fact
And
that
they're
it's like, there's so much, especially like in the entertainment world, there's so much
mm-hmm,
rejection and like it's so hard to get through, but it's like you've got to have that attitude of that resilience and that
mm-hmm.
drive to push through. And so I have to ask you this, like, are you afraid of rejection or does it not even bother you? Does it roll off your back like water?
Rejection's a part of life.
I agree.
It's
That's why I
just a
always
part of
tell
life.
people, I say, listen,
Yeah.
go and aim to get rejected X amount of times, whether it's 50 or 100 per month. And you'll realize
Mm-hmm,
it's actually when you start learning to ask for things,
mm-hmm,
a lot more, you're going to get a lot more yeses than you are no's. But the problem is, I think, and you're not
mm-hmm.
one of them, people are afraid to ask for what they want.
Yeah, they are. And closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't
Amen,
get fed. I,
sister.
I remember being a little girl and I asked my mom once. I asked her, I said, what do I do? Like, there are things I want to ask you, there are things I want to ask for or ask you to do, but I'm scared that you're going to say no. And it's like, what do I do? And she just looked at me. She was like, what? I was like, what do I do? She said, well, the worst possible thing I could tell you is no. She's like,
Yep.
so always just ask. And if I say no, you're in the same position you're in now. Like, but if what if I say yes? Right?
I,
So I just I've kind of like taken that, I've taken that with a grain of salt and I just move forward. Now, here's what I will say. Um, I genuinely feel, right? Don't care what anybody else feels. I feel that every great idea that I've ever come up with doesn't necessarily come from me, but comes to me. So I feel like every great idea I have,
yes.
whether it be in living color, whether it be a different world, the next generation, whether it be whatever, I feel like God gave me that idea. And then it's my responsibility from there to do the work, to
Hmm.
hash it out. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is the idea, but what does this look like? How does this play
Yes.
out? What needs to be done to make this idea come to life? Right. So I'm not going to be or feel insecure about anything that God gave me. I'm just going to push forward. Now, I seek his direction and his guidance as to which way to push because I don't want to waste time. You know what I mean? I don't
Yes.
want to, you know, knock on the way in the door for them to just tell me no, as opposed to I could just do this. If they tell me no, cool. But at the end of the day, somebody gonna like this show. Somebody gonna say, hey, if you want, you can just change the name, or you can just, let's why don't we move forward with the show with or without them? I would much rather be, with them or with their blessing, but I could care less because the idea didn't come from me, it came to me. So I'm not gonna stop anything because other people are either scared to give me their yes or don't want to give me their yes for their own whatever selfish reasons, or
Right.
just it's I love what I do. I love the gifts that God gave me, but it's crabs in a barrel sometimes. You know what I mean? People want you to do well, they just don't want you to do better than them. People want you to
So well
to
said.
people want you to do great as long as you don't do great before they do great. So you kind of you really just have to have discernment if you ask me, um as far as how to push, who to push to, where to push, and
Yes.
when to know to not stop pushing. Because I may get a million no's. I do not care. I do not care. I do not care about your nose. Y'all gonna be kissing my caboose later. You know what I mean? Just keep that same
Exactly.
energy. Just keep that same energy though. Keep that same
Yep.
energy. You giving me a no, cool. Don't come back to me later. I mean, you can come back to me later, and I might not even throw it in your face that you gave me a no before. But no, I
Yeah.
know that you know that right now you eating crow.
Yeah, exactly, right?
And we can move forward with that. And may God bless you. Now, how can I help you? How you want to work now? What would you like to do now? I might not
Yeah.
be available now. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of how I take it. That's
So
that's
you've
really just
got
how I
you've
take it.
got yeah, you've got amazing straight up and that's the thing what it takes to be successful is you've got resilience. And
Amen. I receive it.
you
Thank
just
you.
keep going. And also I love what you said about how God gave you the idea. Because I recently had something in a project that I'm working on, and somebody who said, how did you come up with that? And I said,
And you like, I don't know.
I said I didn't. God did.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just dropped into my head. There's no other way to explain it. And I,
Mm-hmm.
as religious as I am, I don't lean on God as much as I should. And I'm trying to be better
Mm-hmm.
about that and being more aware and
Mm-hmm.
to that I don't need to have all the answers. I don't have to have all the answers. And
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes when you're actually quiet and in that moment I was. And they
Mm-hmm.
do come to you. So I do love that you're like, no, 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 these are things that God's given to me, and I'm now the vessel to go and put it out to the world.
100%. And I can bet money. I do not know what that project is, and it's not for me to know right now. But I bet money, whatever that idea is that came to you, it's about to go kaboom. When it
Yeah.
actually hits the fan, it's gonna go kaboom because it ain't nothing about my God that's small. Nothing about him is small. Every single thing that he does is big. You know what I mean? Even if it's things that you want to do, I promise you, give it to God and he'll give you that thing, but on steroids.
Yeah.
It'll just be so much bigger, so much better. So yeah, I can't like, no, like it's kind of like, who says no to Jesus? And if they do, cool. I'm not saying no though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's anybody that does say no to Jesus, okay. But there's a whole lot of people that say yes. There's a whole lot of people that say yes, and that's how I feel. Rejection is just life.
So what do you
It's
say
just
to
life.
people who are afraid to put themselves out there and they feel like they're sitting on a great idea, but they just can't seem to get out of their own way?
I would definitely tell them to look inside themselves and ask themselves, what is fear? Like, what is fear exactly? What do they feel fear is? What do you feel fear is? Why would you let something like fear keep you from doing anything? Like,
Yeah.
when has fear ever won? When has fear ever won? And
Yeah.
don't misunderstand fear for discernment or reservation. Those are all different things. Fear is really fear. And when has fear ever helped anybody? You
Amen.
know what I mean? If you have an idea and you want to push forward and you don't know how, I hate to sound cliche, but the first thing I would do is pray, right? Even if you're not strong in faith, even if you don't feel like you're a believer, okay, let's go to the basics. Just pray and let it go. Just say, look, God, I don't really talk to you that much, but I need help with this. And just let it go. I guarantee you within a matter of days, you're going to somehow figure out a way or start to see a way to start hashing this thing out. And you're not even going to know where
Yeah.
these ideas or where this blueprint came or how this person found you, or you were just in a coffee shop and
Yes.
met this person that was like, I'm looking, and that it's just like, oh my God, I was just thinking about this. It's like you didn't think, you prayed. And now this is the answer that you're getting. And from there, you can kind of figure it out. You're going to stumble. Stumbling is life. That's great. Stumbling is good. Just stumble forward, just stumble forward. It is what it is. You stumble so you can see. I'm not going to don't step right there because it's something right there that's going to make you stumble. Hop over it the next time you see that. That's a stumbling block. Don't do that. Right? Stumbling is good. So you just have to begin, and you cannot be afraid of failing. God will not fail you. You will not fail you. You have everything that you need within you to go to the next level. You just have to activate it. You just have to activate it.
I
If you
love
have the
that.
gift,
So well said.
yeah, the gift of writing, the gift of acting, the gift of singing, dancing, performing, whatever. I do not believe that gifts just drop out of the sky. If that's the case, everybody would have all the same gifts,
Yeah.
right? So I believe in my heart that if you were blessed with a certain gift, it's because you're supposed to use it. And it's your responsibility to capitalize on said gift. So if you can sing, it's your responsibility to work at singing and become the best singer that you can possibly be.
Yes.
If you write, it's your responsibility to write as much as you possibly can and become the best writer that you can possibly be. All of these things, you not capitalizing on these God-given gifts is your fault. It's your fault because I promised you um, preparation along with hard work means opportunity. It just does. I've never seen the righteous forsaken. I've never written a script, or I've never come up with the idea. I've never flushed something out completely, and then I wasn't presented with the opportunity to present it at on one level or another, with one exec or another, with one manager or agent or another. Like it all meets. So you just have to start, and if you don't know where to start, like I said, pray. If you don't have faith, try. Try. You have
Love
nothing
you.
to lose and
Thank.
everything to gain. Try. Just try. Try.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. And probably the last thing I would say is believe in yourself, because God believes in you.
Yeah, he gave you a purpose. He gave us all a purpose. We're not down here by
That's right.
accident.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
just so sad that most of us don't figure out our gifts because we choose not to. We get so
Yeah,
bombarded
for
by
sure.
the noise that we don't know how to listen.
Yeah. And that's hard. And noise is a big factor in today's day and age. Prophet Lovey, who shout out to Prophet Papalo, shout out to Prophet Lovey. He's the pastor of my church. He's amazing. But he was just talking about that. He was just like, you got to quiet the noise. And it's like, what does that look like? It's like all of that, all the social media and stuff. It's cool. And don't get me wrong, social media is cool. It's not my end all to be all. It's not my holy grail, but for those that it is, cool. But you gotta know when to shut it down, or you have to take it for what it is. Maya always says this saying where to take the meat, you leave the bones. So you have
Yeah.
got to know what to take from it, and you've got to know what to leave from it. Because if you can't quiet that down enough to say, to at least hear, that thing you saw on social media, well, if you try it this way, it'll work out for you. Or, that thing that you read, on that, YouTube ad, if you try that, that'll work out for you. Or even to say, don't do that. Don't try
Yeah.
that. Stay away from that. You know what I mean? But if you can't
Yeah.
quiet the noise to at least hear some direction,
Mm-hmm.
you're already failing. Social media is not failing you. Society is not failing you. You're failing yourself. And
Mm.
if you let everything that's happening around you dictate what you're going to do concerning you, then you're failing. On some level, you cannot allow what everybody else is doing to dictate what you're doing,
Yeah.
because
So well said.
everybody else is not necessarily right.
Yeah.
Everybody else is not necessarily right. Just because they may be doing something that might be working for them, you have to ask yourself, is that for me? Would that work for me? And is there actual longevity in what I see this person doing that looks like it's lucrative? And it might be for the time being, but will it ultimately get me in the rooms where my name will reign in the clouds long after I'm gone for the work that I
I
did?
love that. Yeah.
Um, yeah. And that's even why you see some of these amazing and, social media influencers being smart enough to branch out, move forward, connect themselves with the right
Yes.
people to get in the rooms that are sustainable. I love, let's take like Drewski. Drewski's he's like a black sketch
Okay.
comedy comedian. He's really funny. I love him. He's so plump and funny. I think he's so
Oh
cool.
yeah, I
But
know
I
who you're
think,
talking about. Yeah.
right? I think the smartest thing he did was when he connected with Kevin Hart, right? Because it was almost like he knows or he knew that though social media is cool, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, it's great. But the thing that's really going to get him in rooms and get him deals beyond whatever, you know, little bit of income social media can provide, it's, getting on that Paramount lot, doing that movie with Anne Hathaway, getting on that
Yeah.
Sony, in that Sony office, maybe hooking up with Will Smith to flush out an idea. These are the things that get you to the SAG Awards and, the Oscars and the Grammys. Not that these award shows are important, but the people that are in those rooms, they're all looking to make deals. They're all looking to get
Yes.
another deal, to create another show, to create another film, to do more content. The one thing that you can absolutely count on in this industry is content. It's going to keep coming out. It has to.
It has to. Exactly. Now
It has
we're
to.
addicted to content with the social media, you know what I mean? We constantly need
You know what I'm
content.
saying?
It's like we're yeah, it's like the
And
new crack.
exactly. And it's not that these influencers aren't getting booked. They are. But where do you see they're getting booked to the lots? They're getting booked to the studios. They're getting booked to, so they're coming out of that because even they know it's like this is cool. This is a great platform, but it's to catapult me to a place where I need to be. This is not the end all be all. This is not the ceiling. It's the foundation. And
Ex yes.
it's not everybody's foundation. I could take or
Yeah.
leave Instagram. I could take or leave social media. I could care less. I was here before it was here. I'm gonna be here after it's gone. Like I don't care for it, right? But it's cool, right? Because people know me now that didn't know me before. People see me, but if you ask me, they was gonna know me anyway. They was gonna see me eventually anyway.
Love
You know what I
that.
mean? I was gonna keep cracking that shell till it. I was gonna keep tapping that shell till it cracked. You know what I mean? And something was gonna pour out. Somebody was gonna see me. Some exec,
You
some
just have
studio
such
heads.
great energy. So
It was
where do you get your confidence from, my dear?
probably my mama.
I'm confident, but good God, you've got I'm like I just need to just
Oh
I
no, I said I am my mother's child. Okay, I am my mother's child. My mother was a very tall glass of water, and you couldn't tell her anything. And I'm the same way. I'm my mother's child. All right, that's number one. Number two, I do think that when you have faith, when you have a love for Christ, when you know that Christ loves you, it does give you a little bit of a different swag when it comes to things because you know deep down, or not even deep down, but you just know surface level and deep down, there's somebody above me taking care of me. So I don't really have to worry about you. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I have to mistreat. It doesn't mean I can mistreat you. It doesn't mean that I can, be disrespectful to you. It doesn't mean that I don't need you. No, it just means if you don't see the value in who I am and who God created me to be, it's okay. I know he will connect me to the right person that does see the value of me and what I bring to the table. You know what I mean? It just, it's that never ending, no matter what, God's gonna take care of me thing.
I
So,
love that.
and he could take me home tomorrow, right? I'd be fine with that. As long as this podcast came out, as long as, some of my producing partners and the people I've worked with carry on the message, carry on, hey, believe in yourself because God believes in you. Push, fight for
Love
what God placed
that.
in you. Fight for your future. Fight for your destiny. It's yours. No one else is going to
Yeah.
do it for you. No one else is going to do this for you. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with your 24 hours? Because I
I
know
know.
exactly what I'm going to do with mine. I'm a fight for what God gave me. He gave it to
And
me.
you're so, I love it. Yeah.
He gave it to me. So I don't really know if it's confidence in me or if it's confidence
And the
in
higher
what I
power.
believe. But it's all coming through this mouthpiece. So I'll
Have
take
you
it.
always been in touch with, have you always been like in tune with your faith?
I
Or
don't
were there
know.
times that you,
Um, yeah, yeah. I was, my dad, like I was raised in the church. I was raised in the church. My dad's actually a pastor. That doesn't
oh,
mean anything.
nice.
That
Okay.
doesn't mean anything because I do know some children who are now adults whose, parents were pastors or whatever, and they still went their own way, and that's totally fine. Like that's
Yeah, I
their
know
cross
that
to
too.
bear.
Yeah.
Let the yeah. But I think at some point everybody kind of has to find faith for themselves, and I just feel like I found my faith pretty young. I didn't necessarily know what that meant. I didn't even always know how to adhere to it, meaning trusting it, right? Meaning I really want to do this, even though I don't know if it's going to work out. But there's something saying don't do it, so I'm not going to go do that. I'm gonna do this, and this is the thing that ends up going kaboom. It's like I'm glad I didn't listen to me because I don't really know. I can't see everything. I don't know everything. But I do believe in a higher power that does see everything and that does know everything. So I'm gonna go the way
Yeah.
she tells me to go. I'm not gonna do my own thing. Um, so it's kind of that, and it a lot of trial and error with that. I've been the girl who like did her own thing, and then it just cost me. It cost me time. It cost me heartbreak. It
Okay,
cost me
let's talk about
money.
that.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
talk about that. Uh, when you say do your own thing, because I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, I would say majority of people are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it
Okay.
costs you. What go dive into that so people understand what it means to do your own thing and why it's probably not going to work out.
Um, okay, so for example, here's a good example. I can sing, right? I was dancing before I was singing before I was acting, right? So all I wanted to do at one point was just sing. Sing, 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 sing. I just want to sing. I just want to sing. I want to sing. I want to sing. I want to be this great singer, and I want to perform all over and like Whitney and Beyonce and all that. And that's great. Whitney was great. Beyonce is great. These are great, right? But me pursuing just that, it really wasn't working out. Not in the way that what I'm doing now is working out. Meaning, God is like, I know you can sing. I'm the one that gave you the gift to sing, but that's not all I gave you a gift to do. I also gave you a gift of writing. I also gave you a gift of acting. Like it's a million singers. Not everybody that can sing can also act. Not everybody that can
Yeah.
sing and act can also write. Not everybody that can sing, act, and write can also dance. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really had to close myself in. I have a lot of gifts, bro. And every single gift that God has given me is to be used. And I wasn't always there.
I
I was
love
only
that.
focused on singing. And when I tell you I missed out on some really big opportunities because I was just focused on singing, I missed out on some really big opportunities. People would see me, people to date, people who are major stars to date would see me and say, you have it, you have what it takes. I would love to get you an audition out in LA. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. Right. And where do I live now? LA.
Yeah,
Right. But
exactly right. Yeah.
at the time, I'm chasing I want to be like Beyonce with the background dancers and and it's just like we don't need another Beyonce. We don't. Beyonce's great. Beyonce's cool. Do a tribute to her one day at the BET Awards or something. But like what we don't need another Beyonce. Who is Lauren? What
Yeah.
does God want to use Lauren to do? And it just took me a long time to realize that what I was chasing really wasn't chasing me.
Mm.
Um, and what I should be chasing is the fact that I have all of these gifts. And with that, like I said, you just pray. And it's just like, okay, well, what do you want me? What am I supposed to be? All of these gifts, what is it that I'm supposed to be focused on? And the minute I asked that question, he was like, right. And I'm like, right what? just write. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really know what that means, but okay, right. And as soon as I said, okay, within a month, I knew what to write. Within a month, I knew what to write. I'm like, hey, Maya Crier. I love her so much. She's my producing partner. She's like a great friend to me. She's
Yeah.
everything. She's wonderful. I said, Maya, I have an idea for a TV show, but I don't really know how to write that. Like, I know how to write, but I don't know how to TV shows. Can you help me? And she said, yeah. And so it began. So it began. And I can tell you, in all the years I was chasing my record deal, even getting little side deals with Interscope, a singles deal, getting caught pulled into Universal Motown in New York, getting these meetings, and
Yeah.
it never quite hit. And it's like, why is this not hitting? And God is just like, I'm gonna give this to you, but I'm not gonna give this to you the way that you see it. Because if you only pursue this, you're
Yeah.
gonna be capped. There's a cap there. There's a
I
cap
know. Sometimes
there.
it's like, it's not our will, it's his. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love, like, let's say like a Justin Timberlake. Oh man, Justin can go and do a tour and sell out every arena, and then when he's done that,
Yeah.
he can say, I'll go do a movie, and he can go make
I
20
know,
million
right? Yeah.
doing a movie, and then he can be like, yeah, that was great. What am I going to do next year? But there's no limits. There's no limits to what he can do. I can go and I could, maybe I'll go do an album, and then he can go do an album, and he's like, maybe I'll go tour again, and he can go tour again. And he's like, maybe I'll do another movie, or if he gets approached for a TV show, he can say yes. He has all of these gifts, and he's using all of them. Me, I was just tunnel vision, tunnel vision, tunnel vision,
Yeah.
and tunnel vision is not a good thing.
No, I
It's
wrote about it in my
not.
book, like get out of the tunnel vision because there's so many
It's
gifts and things you can do. Don't limit
It's not a
yourself.
good thing. You're not
No.
seeing the whole spectrum. You're not seeing the big picture. You're not seeing everything. You're just focused on this one little thing. And a tunnel is narrow. It's confining. And
Exactly.
there's a beginning to a tunnel, there's a middle to a tunnel, and there's an end to a tunnel. But there's no
Yeah.
tunnel. It's just the world. There's no beginning to the world. There's no middle. There's no end. The world just keeps going. And I feel like that's what it's like for your talents, Madison. They're just gonna keep going. You know what I
Multiplying.
mean?
Yeah.
The podcast will keep going, the writing will keep going, the comedy will keep going,
Yeah.
it'll just keep going. It'll be never ending. You know what I mean? As opposed to me with singing. Okay, that's great. But like we'll take Whitney, right? I loved Whitney. Loved Whitney. I probably wouldn't have ever been a singer if it wasn't for Whitney. Even though my mom was a singer, Whitney was the GOAT for me, right? When Whitney's voice gave out on her, all she really had left was acting,
Yeah.
right?
But
That's
thank God
great
she
though.
had that.
At
It's
least
another
she,
gift.
thank you, thank you,
It's
thank
another
you,
gift for
right?
sure.
She
Yeah.
she was smart enough to say, let me use these other gifts, because who knew that her voice was just going to give out on her? Who knows why? That's between her and her life or whatever. But when that thing couldn't do that thing that she was so accustomed to it doing, thank God there was another opening for her. But if you just stuck on this one thing, what happens if that gets taken away? You know what I mean? I could never write another script. Cool. I'll go act in them. I'll go act in as many scripts and TV shows and features as that can handle me. You know what I mean?
Amen.
If you know what I mean? If something happened to my face and it got all burnt up and no one wanted to cast me anymore, okay, cool. I'll just write. I'll
Yeah.
just write and I'll just produce, and I'll make sure that we get the best actors and the best talent and the biggest budget, and Paramount will pick it up and Hulu and Disney will pick it up. I'll just, and it's just like, okay, well, if I don't want to act and I don't want to write anymore, I'll produce. It just doesn't,
Absolutely.
the world is my oyster. Like, so it's more of that, but it took me a long time to get there. And I
Yeah.
wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time trying to just crack this one little area
Yeah.
in my life, when my life
Beautiful
is
said.
like,
Such a great
you know what
message,
I mean?
though, is to expand your horizons, get out of the
Mm-hmm,
tunnel, be able to
mm-hmm,
silence your mind so you can listen
mm-hmm.
to what God has in store for you.
Yeah.
and just to take the chance, because it's always no if you never ask. And I love
Mm.
it. So Lauren, where can people find you, contact you, learn more about you, all that good stuff?
Um, I am on all the socials. Like I
Okay, well,
said, just
what
because
is it?
it's
Make sure you
not.
tell them.
I got you. Yeah. Just 'cause it's not my lifeline doesn't mean I'm not on there. I'm on Instagram, Lauren Shay Bryan. I got married, so I'm not Livingston anymore. I'm Bryan. Lauren Shay Bryan, Threads, Lauren Shay Bryan, Facebook, everything is pretty much Lauren Shay, SHAYE. Um, and Living Color 2.0 is we did do the pilot, that opened the door for us to be seen and heard by the right people. So if people want to watch it just to see, like, where we're going
Yeah,
with it, or what the next generation of superstars is gonna kind of be
I
like,
love
you
it.
can
It's
find
so
that on
exciting.
YouTube. It is exciting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is exciting.
I love it.
Comedy
And
doesn't,
but you're
huh?
so enthusiastic about it too. And when you have somebody that's so enthusiastic about it, it's like
Yes.
there's just this magic that you can just
Yeah.
feel, and just such a gift. So thank you so much for
Thank you,
being a gift
Madison.
to
Yeah,
this show, being a gift to this
I
world,
love what
being a
I
gift to
do.
comedy,
Thank
and such an
you.
inspiration. So if you are somebody who is wondering, how do I get the fuck out of my own way? Well,
Yes.
re-listen to this episode, because I think Lauren gave you a serious crash course on how to do just that. This is a woman that is living her
Absolutely.
dream, living is confident, and is going after everything she wants. And she is going to get everything she desires and more, because I can feel
Thank
it.
you,
So
Madison.
thank you, Lauren. And thank you to everybody who's listening, wherever you may be. We will see you next time to find out who's next. Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.